So for the next point, let's focus on these two words. We say al-kamaru, and then there's another word which you're very familiar with because it occurs in Quran quite often, ash-shamsu. Al-kamaru ash-shamsu. So what's happening here? That here we are pronouncing this lam of definiteness. We have pronounced it. Here we have completely ignored it. We don't pronounce it. Why is that? Before I go into that, we have 28 alphabets in Arabic. 14 of them fall into this category, and exactly the other 14 fall into that category. So it's easy to remember that way. But how do we remember which one falls into this category and which one goes into this category? And why is that? So first, why is that? The reason for the difference is the articulation point in the oral cavity. Articulation point of lam and sheen are close together in oral cavity, in the front of the oral cavity. So we say lam and sheen is right between the teeth. So they're close together. So what happens is, the more close together they are, it becomes difficult to pronounce them separately. They become a bit hard on the tongue and the flow is disturbed. And for Arabs, flow cannot be disturbed. The language has to be really fluent. So what they do is, here, rather than saying al-shams, this which is a bit hard on the tongue, they ignore that and pronounce this ash-shams, which is much more fluent way of pronouncing this word. So ignoring this, in a way what they're doing is, either we can say they convert lam to sheen, or because lam is ignored, so sheen is pronounced twice. Whichever way we look at it, the point is that lam is not pronounced and you go right from hamza to sheen and the flow is much better. Here in this case, the lam is from the front part of the oral cavity and kaf is somewhere here, so the articulation points are a bit far from each other and it becomes easy to pronounce them. So al-kamaru, al-kamaru. So the flow is much better here, and the flow is better here by combining hamza to sheen. So al-kamaru ash-shamsu. Kamar means, we know kamar means moon, and shams means sun. So those word ism asma which fall in this category, they are called moon letters. Huruful kamari, moon letters, and these are called sun letters. Sun letters. So basically, the copy of Quran which we have, most of us, it's not a problem there at all, because we can see that lam is pronounced here and it is ignored here. But problem occurs when we do not have these markers. So how do we know when to pronounce lam and when not to pronounce lam? Many years ago, I was when I went to Medina first time, I think it was 1979, I was sitting in Masjid Nabwi and I thought I will read Quran, and I picked one copy of Quran and there were no vowels, short vowels. Picked another copy, no harka on that either, so I couldn't really read Quran. So the principle here is, it's the easy way to remember is by looking at these alphabets. What I've done here is that this group, right from here up to here, dal, zal, ra, za, sin, sheen, swad, dwad, tha, zwa. I have underlined these. This is one big group, and before this group I have underlined tha and sa, and after this I have underlined lam and noon. So all these letters which are underlined, they are sun letters, the others are moon letters. So this is an easy way to remember. However, with the time we really become used to this and we don't even think about this, and we go right from Hamza to Dal here, and from Hamza to Jim, to Lam and Jim here, etc. So that's the format to keep in mind, to remember which are the sun letters and which are the moon letters. Let us get some examples. For example, we say Kul huwallahu ahad, Allahu samad. The word is samadun. Samadun. So when we make this definite, it becomes as-samadu. The mean goes. However, when we read it, recite the Quran, we say Allah Hus Samad. So we do not pronounce this. What happens here is that from the last letter of this lafaz jalala, we have gone straight to swad, which is in this case, because it's a sun letter, so we have not even pronounced lam here, and we have totally ignored alif, this, which is actually hamza. So because I said earlier on, this hamza is a kind of extra. It's not the hamza which has made this noun definite, it's the lam of definiteness, and from that point of view it is really extra. And when in this kind of situation, when we have to combine this with the next, with the first letter of the next word, this hamza is totally ignored, and for that reason this hamza is called hamza of connecting hamza or joining hamza. So connecting hamza or joining hamza, because it helps to connect this word with that word. So connecting hamza. So hamzatul wasl in Arabic, hamzatul wasl, connecting hamza or joining hamza. So when two isms are read together and the second one has lam of definiteness, we do not pronounce this hamza, which is hamzatul wasl. It helps to connect this ism with that ism, and hamzatul wasl is quite common in Quran. There's another term called hamzatul qata'a. Hamzatul qata'a is always pronounced. For example, if this was hamzatul qata'a, we will say Allahu as-samadu, and because the hamza of lam tarif is connecting hamza, hamzatul wasl, we do not pronounce it, and we recite Quran Allahu samad.